The Kolkata Knight Riders may have lost their second straight game on the trot in the IPL 2023 and their third match overall, leaving themselves in a pretty perilous position going into the second half of the tournament. But against the Mumbai Indians, a very long wait came to an end at long last. In fact, it was one that Kolkata Knight Riders fans were looking to celebrate, an occasion that they were looking to celebrate that they hadn't gotten the chance to since, in fact, 2008. You heard me right. 2008. That was the last time a KKR batter managed to score a century, and of course it's a very famous century. It goes down in IPL history because it was the first ever game of the IPL. Brendan McCullum smashed an absolutely thundering 158 all out, and you know, as they say, the rest is history. The IPL is launched into the stratosphere, but after that there wasn't a single IPL ton that was scored by a KKR batsman. That is, of course, until today. But just look at this gap. Just look at the gap. The first ever century that was scored by a KKR player was on April 18th, 2008. The date, as of this recording, April 16th, 2023 was how long they had to wait for the second, ton to come. It's nearly 15 years because, in fact, had this streak gone on, if say Venkatesh Iyer had not scored a ton in this particular match, then it would have been over 15 years. So it's really that long that it's been that there was not a single batsman who, in fact, managed to get that ton. Now, that's not to say there weren't batsmen who didn't come close. There were many who came close. In fact, if you remember, just in the last game, Nitish Rana looked like he would, in fact, be coming close to breaking that. He got out. There have been others. Venkatesh Iyer himself, by the way, earlier this season against the Gujarat Titans, had gotten out in the 80s. So that has been something of a trend for KKR. And of course, it also ties back to the fact that in the history of their, let's say, existence, they've never really had explosive openers who can bat long. That normally is one of the key things when it comes to judging tons, but they've never really had those. A lot of their openers were either accumulators or someone who'd get quick fire 30-40s. But if you're doubtless wondering, now that KKR have ended this particular streak, who is it, which team is it rather, that has the longest streak in terms of their wait, or the wait for having scored a century? The answer would surprise you. It is, in fact, the Mumbai Indians. Mumbai Indians, the last century that a batsman representing the team hit came all the way back in 2014. In fact, that was the year when they had won the title in 2013. In 2014, they ended up having a not so great year. And since then, 2014 was the year when 2 tons came for them, because one was for Lyndon Simmons, the other was Rohit Sharma. Since that time, it's been 8 seasons and we're counting now that there hasn't been a single MI batsman who's gotten a century. Despite that, they have in fact been on the receiving end of a batsman scoring a century against them on 8 separate occasions. So it really is not, as I said, the best of times to be an MI fan, despite the fact they may have beaten KKR. But really, when it comes down to their batsmen getting that all-important, let's say, statistic, they haven't been able to get that since 2014. Although, of course, considering the fact that from that time they ended up winning 4 titles since 2014, I'd say they're probably not complaining that much. The team that comes after them as far as century droughts are concerned are the Delhi Capitals. In fact, the last player to score a century for Delhi Capitals no longer even plays for them and is currently captaining another franchise, and that man is, of course, Shikhar Dhawan. He scored a century for them in when the IPL was held in, of course, the UAE in 2020, and there has been no other batsman from DC who scored a century since then. So right now, the longest streak belongs to the Mumbai Indians. The second longest, although admittedly not that long, belongs to the Delhi Capitals. If you're a KKR fan, though, yes, you'd be disappointed with the fact that you didn't get a win, but you'd be happy at the kind of form Venkatesh Iyer has been showing. And if it really had to be anyone to break that drought, or that long-running drought, arguably the longest-running drought in the history of the IPL, if you're looking at any statistic, it had to be him. You have to be happy. But of course, you'd be hoping that he can parlay this form into some wins for Kolkata in the future. Thank you guys for joining us for this particular video. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to like, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, tap the bell icon, leave us a comment, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Don't forget to download the AajTak app, and if you're already on the channel, go ahead and check out some other videos that we've done. For now, from my side, goodbye.